Hello, me again. Today, well, I've been awoken from my slumber to talk about something that involves Twitter. And I came across this. I think it was Goji Guy who posted about the scene, but then cursed, retweeted it, and said that he wouldn't want to see that scene. It serves like no sort of purpose. I'll put it up all there. So, let's talk about that scene. Basically, if you haven't read the Lost World novel, there is a segment in there where an infant gets eaten alive by Compsognathus. And it's been a long time since I've actually read the novel, but from what I remember, either the mother, sister, or babysitter comes in to hear the baby crying, or the baby's crying and comes up, and then it stops. They open the door to find these compies, they don't know that they are compies, over the crib. And they lift up their heads and they're covered in blood. And they go to try and shoo them away, and the compies don't budge. In fact, one of them bends down and rips a bit of flesh off the child or the baby or whatever. And it's basically it's graphic. It's horrible. I mean, that's pretty much where it ends. There's nothing more to it, if I remember or recall. And it's just kind of like this shock factor in its original format in a book. Your imagination is sort of left to fill in the blanks. I mean, it's kind of already filled in for you. I don't know if this would translate to a movie. I aired my disdain for it on Twitter. I basically said that I don't think this scene ever needs to be put to film, and as it stands, it's kind of just like a shock factor moment. It's a bit tasteless, it's a bit cruel, yada yada yada. And then people responded to me. There was some comments that said like, "Oh, that's nature. Nature's cruel." To which I responded like, "It's a movie. Like, yes, nature is cruel, but everything in movies has a purpose, has a reason for being there." And then people commented saying, "Oh, well, what about Zara? And what about Eddie Carr?" Well, for a start, Zara's death in Jurassic World got a load of backlash because it was kind of just this over-the-top death scene. The actress wanted it and everything, and the only thing she committed that was kind of bad was just for, not looking after the children. Eddie Carr, to save his friends. There was a reason for his death. He went out a hero. And it wasn't, he just got ripped in two and then that was it. And it was deliberately played so it wasn't, they didn't linger on it. And I think they said that in the behind the scenes. They didn't want to do that. But with this scene in particular, with an infant child, defenseless, unable to, and has committed nothing wrong as far as the story goes, it's just there to kind of be horrible. How did we get here? How do we get to a point where there's people, in the fandom who want to see a baby eaten alive in a Jurassic Park film? What does that say about certain people? Well, I think there's an explanation as to why people are defending it. The reason why I don't like it is, well, for the reasons I've stated, but also since I became a father and a parent, there's certain things that I just can't deal with anymore. Certain things just I see and it's really unsettling to me, and this is one of them. And I'm not saying that if you're a parent and you want to see this scene in a movie that you're a bad parent. I'm just saying, for me, I would rather not see a child being eaten alive slowly by tiny Compsognathus. But the whole reason I think why we are here at this point in time right now is because we're so far into the Jurassic franchise. We're on film number 8, I think. 9 will come out in 3 years' time. God knows. No, it's 7. No, I think it's 7. Never mind. We're on film 7. There you go. I've lost count. There's too many. People have been asking for an R-rated Jurassic Park movie for the longest time. And if it's anything to show, just look at the amount of articles written up about Dino Crisis. The spiritual successor to Dino Crisis. It's everywhere. I think that's the reason why people are clinging to this scene in particular, as it literally is just gore and violence. That's all it serves. And people want to see it because it's bringing back, Jurassic Park's dark roots. And that's it. And also, it was already referenced in The Lost World. Remember when Ian Malcolm did that jump scare? Yeah, that one? Yeah, it was already referenced in there. With Kathy, darling, lunch is ready. As she gets attacked by compies. And yeah, she didn't do anything wrong, but you could say, well, she fed the animals, and you should never really feed animals, and really it's a parent's fault for letting her go and not be supervised. And I worry that with Rebirth, Jurassic World Rebirth that just came out, we are just taking everything from any of the novels. Anything goes. The river raft scene was overplayed in the promotion, so much so that every time there was a new bit of promo, they showed like an extra 10 seconds or 5 seconds of the river raft scene. I even made a whole series, compiling every extra little shot that was put in as a joke to be like, come on guys, stop it. This is getting a bit ridiculous. And they never did. I think it was just that was the way they were going, and that's what they did. Same with the AI game that they did. The reason why that still exists and wasn't taken down is because they had promo for it. They had the actors play the game. So they didn't care. And Universal's so big that no one in it has sole control over the direction of these sorts of things. They're just told what to do. And the whole purpose or arguments you could make for it existing is like, oh, dinosaurs are in our world, which they're not anymore as far as Rebirth is concerned. And, we're unprepared. The innocence is gone, we're in this like wartime almost, like, human innocence, and that's what the baby could represent. And that's the thing, nature's cruel, but it doesn't mean it makes for a good movie. Someone died with a coconut falling on their head. Yeah, that's just nature, it can happen, but it doesn't mean, we need to put that in a movie because it's realistic. Imagine if Zora Bennett just died at the end from a coconut falling on her head. You'd be like, well, that's nature. And I don't know what other content creators have said about it. I'm sure in the past when I was like an edgy teenager, I mean, look right there. I've got 3 days grace. I made, the edgy sort of videos back in the day. As I've grown up and gotten older, it's like, well, actually it serves no purpose to the plot. You may also be familiar with Ali Awada. He's the guy who did a lot of Jurassic Park fan animations, and then for some reason went a little bit into fully AI done videos. So yeah, those are a bit stupid. But in one of those fully AI generated videos, which is terrible, he put in that scene, like the baby scene, except for instead of a compy, he put a raptor. And I remember watching that, and I was disgusted because, one, it was AI generated, and I was like, come on, what are you doing, you lazy arsehole? And two, it was like, oh, come on, this is just tasteless. This is like, am I really going to watch a raptor eat a baby? Of course, it was off screen because, for one, AI wouldn't be able to really render that, I don't think. And two, is there a way to put it to screen that you can get away with without just being horrible, cruel, and tasteless? Probably not. I don't know. It just didn't sit right with me. Is it a hot take? I don't know. I feel like this isn't a hot take to say, how about we don't kill a baby on screen with compies and stuff? How about we don't have its flesh ripped from its face? That'd be quite nice. But anyway, guys, I don't want to linger too long on this subject. I don't really have too much to say. In the novel, it lasts, I think, maybe a page, maybe a bit more. It's not really anything that's supposed to... I think in the novel, it's of a time when the dinosaurs have gotten off Isla Nublar or Isla Sorna. And it's like, well, how are they getting here? What's happening? And it's someone who's following leads and trails, and then it comes to that sort of thing. So it's not like this big moment. It's just sort of like, it's just what happened. And at the end of the day, right, it just kind of gives me a horrible taste in my mouth. Pretty much. But anyway, guys, let me know your comments and thoughts. Do you think it's a scene that actually does represent, the human world and the natural world coinciding and be like, oh my god, we don't fit in here, we're not prepared for dinosaurs in our world, sort of thing? Or is it just like, something that it doesn't really need to be in the movie because it's kind of grim and cruel, whatevs. That's where I stand on this anyway. If you enjoyed the video, guys, leave a like, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.